Okie dokie, we are reading now, still section 1, theory of heat. Still gonna go through the timeline illustration they have, and then I'll read the paragraphs. So this is page 4. 1929, household refrigerator sales topped, 800,000. Hiccups. 1931, refrigerant R12 was developed by Thomas Midgley and C.F. Kettering. 1939, first successful semi-hermetic Copeland compressor introduced by the Copeland Company. Sales started in 1939. It was a field serviceable compressor. 1935 to 1965. A number of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, were developed during this period. 1974. Professors Rowland and Molina presented the ozone theory, that CFCs were depleting the ozone layer. 1985. Stratospheric ozone hole discovered. 1989. Montreal Protocol ratified by 100 countries. 1990. Clean Air Act amendments. Production freezes and bans on certain refrigerants. Signed by President George H.W. Bush. November of 1990. 1992. The EPA made it illegal to intentionally vent CFC and HCFC refrigerants into the atmosphere. 1994. Mandatory EPA technician certification required to service refrigeration and AC equipment or to buy ozone-depleting refrigerants as of November 1994. 1995. Unlawful to intentionally vent alternative refrigerants, HFCs, and all refrigerant blends into the atmosphere as of November 1995. 1996. Gradual HCFC production phase-out schedule with the total phase-out of HCFC refrigerants in the year 2030. Phase-out of CFC refrigerants. 1997 to 2000. Kyoto Protocol introduced, intended to reduce worldwide global warming gases. Global warming has become a major environmental issue. Voluntary HVAC-R technician certification became a major focus. 1998 to 2005. R410A, an efficient and chlorine-free HFC-based refrigerant blend for residential and light commercial air conditioning applications, is used with the scroll compressor for greater efficiencies. 2006. Minimum 13 SEER, SEER, required for 1.5 to 5 ton unitary equipment and split/packaged air conditioners and heat pumps. Green awareness. Green mechanical systems and green buildings become increasingly popular as a way to curb global warming and conserve energy. Natural refrigerants like carbon dioxide, ammonia, propane, butane, and isobutane are becoming increasingly popular because of their low GWP, zero ODP, low costs, availability, and high efficiencies. 2008 to 2014. Green awareness, global warming, energy efficiency, equipment efficiency, energy saving, sustainability, and high-performance buildings are still on the environmental and energy forefront. Energy audits have become an integral part of evaluating and assessing existing buildings' energy performance. Higher efficiency standards for new buildings' energy performance have been established. Higher levels of training and certification have been developed for HVAC-R technicians to meet the needs of more sophisticated energy-efficient buildings, and HVAC-R equipment. Carbon dioxide, R744, is gaining popularity in commercial refrigeration applications. This naturally occurring refrigerant does not deplete ozone and has a low global warming potential, GWP. 2015 to 2016. The smart revolution is taking hold where wireless technology, applications, apps, smartphones, notebooks, and pads are controlling and monitoring HVAC-R equipment through wireless networks. Cloud computing is also becoming very popular. 2018 to 2020. U.S. Department of Energy raises minimum efficiency requirements for newly installed rooftop systems in low-rise buildings by 10%. Total phase-out of R22 and R142B. 2016. EPA revised regulations under its Section 608 Refrigerant Handling Program. 2030. Total phase-out scheduled for all HFC refrigerants. Okay, I think this is going to be like a 13-minute long video, so let's just keep reading. Oh yeah, and I start with the first word that's written, and then, I end with the last word. So first word, and then a period. It just says compressor. 3 engineering changes made these compressors successful. Cloth insulated motor windings were replaced with Glyptal insulation. Neoprene insulation replaced with porcelain enamel in the electric terminals. Valves were redesigned to improve efficiency. Many different refrigerants have been developed over the years. R12, a chlorofluorocarbon, was developed in 1931 by Thomas Midgley of Ethel Corporation and C.F. Kettering of General Motors. It was produced by DuPont. In 1974, 2 professors from the University of California, Sherwood Rowland and Mario Molina, presented the ozone theory. Their hypothesis was that CFC refrigerants released into the atmosphere were depleting the Earth's protective ozone layer. Scientists conducted high-altitude studies and concluded that CFCs were indeed linked to ozone depletion. Representatives from the United States, Canada, and more than 30 other countries met in Montreal, Canada, in September 1987 to try to solve the problem of released refrigerants and the effect they had on ozone depletion. This meeting produced the Montreal Protocol, which by 1989 had been ratified by 100 nations. It mandated a global freeze on the production of CFCs at 1986 levels. The protocol also froze production of hydrofluorocarbons, HCFC refrigerants, at their 1986 levels, beginning in 1992. In addition, the protocol set a schedule of taxes on CFC refrigerants. As research on ozone depletion continues today, reassessments and updates to the Montreal Protocol also continue. At the time of this writing, the most current updates are as follows. 1990, November. President George H.W. Bush signed the Clean Air Act amendments that initiated production freezes and bans on certain refrigerants. 1992, July. The EPA made it against the law to intentionally vent CFC and HCFC refrigerants into the atmosphere. 1993, the EPA mandated the recycling of CFC and HCFC refrigerants. 1994, November. The EPA mandated a technician certification program deadline. Current HVAC-R technicians had to be EPA certified by this date. 1995, November. The EPA made it against the law to intentionally vent alternative refrigerants, HFCs, and all refrigerant blends into the atmosphere. 1996. The EPA made it illegal to manufacture or import CFC refrigerants. 1996. The EPA put into place the gradual HCFC production phase-out schedule, which will totally phase out the production of HCFC refrigerants by the year 2030. 1998, June. The EPA proposed new regulations on recovery/recycling standards, equipment leak rates, and alternative refrigerants. 2004, 35% reduction in HCFC refrigerant production. 2007, HCFC reduction on production was accelerated from 65% to 75% from the baseline 1989 production year. 2010, HCFC 22 is banned in new equipment. No production or importing of HCFC 22 and HCFC 142B, except for use in equipment manufactured before January 1st, 2010. 2015, 90% reduction in HCFC 22 production from the baseline production year of 1989. No production or importing of any HCFC except for use in equipment manufactured before January 1st, 2010. 2016, EPA updates regulations on refrigerant handling and usage. 2018, EPA expands sales restrictions on HCFC and HFO refrigerants. Daily fine for intentionally venting refrigerant increases to $44,539. It's a lot. 2019, new refrigerant leak inspection, verification test, and record-keeping requirements go into effect. 2020, total ban on HCFC 22 production. No production and no importing of R22 and R142B. 2030, total ban on all HCFC production. No production and no importing of any HCFC. From 1997 to 2000, voluntary HVAC-R technician certifications became a major focus of the industry. From 1998 to the present, the major players in voluntary HVAC-R technician certification and home study examinations were and continue to be the AC&R Safety Coalition, the Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Institute, AHRI, the Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration Distributors International, HARDI, and Carbon Monoxide Safety Association, COSA, the Green Mechanical Council, HVAC Excellence, North American Technician Excellence, the Refrigeration Service Engineers Society, and the United Association of Journeymen and Apprentices. By 2008, global warming had become a major environmental issue. A scoring system was designed to help engineers, contractors, and consumers know the green value of each mechanical installation. R410A, an efficient and chlorine-free HFC-based refrigerant blend for residential and light commercial air conditioning applications, was developed for use with the scroll compressor for greater efficiencies. Also today, every central split cooling system manufactured in the United States must have a seasonal energy efficiency ratio, SEER, S-E-E-R, rating of at least 13. This energy requirement was mandated by federal law as of January 23, 2006. The green value encompasses the system's energy efficiency, pollution output, and sustainability. Green buildings and green mechanical systems are becoming increasingly popular in today's world as a way to curb global warming. Green awareness, global warming, energy efficiency, energy savings, sustainability, and high-performance buildings are still at the forefront of environmental and energy concerns. Energy audits have become an integral part of Cliffhanger. This is so fun. It's nice to read at night. And then make these videos. I can go back and listen. I don't know. People I went to high school with can look me up on YouTube, and maybe think I'm like, I don't know. Maybe these videos are relaxing. They watch them before they go to bed. I don't know. Okay, anyways, that was fun. I will see you guys tomorrow.